Hello, my deckies. Welcome back to the Boston Nation. As you can see, we got ourselves another deck profile for you today. We've got the Magna Warriors, the winner of that Red Eyes deck. Oh, that was pretty terrifying indeed. That blade went straight up that dragon's butthole. Anywho, what's the name of the deck, my friend? Every deck has a name.
For some reason, I want to call it Rocky.
Rocky, as in Rocky Balboa. Why is it Rocky Balboa?
Because it's a rock deck.
I guess.
My imagination isn't very creative.
I guess. Anyway, let's begin.
So, I want one Century Soldier Stone. I might consider running this at 2 in the future. Pretty much when it's in the graveyard, if I control another rock monster, if the only monster I control on the field are rock monsters, I can special from the graveyard field. I use them to key summon my rank 3s. Run one of those right now. Secondly, I run one Delta. I run one because I've been suggested to run 2 sometimes, but I only run one because it'll clog up the rest of my engine. Because I don't ever want to like get a hand, those unlucky hands if I ever get 2 in my hand, because it wouldn't be useful for me. So I only run one of those. I have the original 3.
Oh, the vanillas.
Because they're good. Just use Berserkion to fight that I'll play in the future. When I get to that card, but they're just good to have for rank 4s and also like emergency rank 4s that you don't see coming from the soul charge, and just to have them there just because it's nostalgic and they're good for rank 4s and they're good for using Berserkion to attack.
1 hour and 9 minutes. 1 hour.
I run 3 alphas. I run 3 of these because they can be special by Beta's effect. They can be added to hand from Beta's effect and special from Gamma's effect. They can add any level 8 Magnoid from my deck to my hand. I use them to bring out Valkyrion and Berserkion in my hand when I have a chance.
Lovely. That's why you take it at 3.
Well, I take it at 3 betas. This is the lifeblood of my deck. Just so I can put like the cards I need in my hand. All the Magnoids that I need and whatever need, I can put in my hand. And my opponent's turn for any of my Magnoids, I can tribute them and special Magnoids to my deck.
Rocky.
Gamma at 3 as well. I can, when he's normal or special, I can special another Magnoid from my hand automatically on the field, so I can put the monster right there. So if I tribute one of my other Magnoids, I can special him right from my deck. It still counts as special summon. 3 Berserkion. This guy can be special by banishing an Alpha, Beta, and Gamma Electromagnet Warrior from my graveyard, hand, or field. So one of those 3. I can special him, and then his effect for every Magna Warrior in my graveyard, doesn't matter if it's the originals or the new ones, any Magna Warrior in my graveyard, I can banish it, pop card in the field. That's why I have the 3 originals in there as well.
That seems useful. Very high tech.
Finally, 3 Valkyrions. Having
OG
there.
himself.
You don't normally, I don't have him in the deck to summon him. I normally have him there just for the fusion. And possibly if I ever, like, not really happen to me as much, but if I ever get 3 originals, I can just special him.
Okay.
So like Soul Charge, if I ever do that, bring out this guy. And for Poly, take him at 3. Now for the spells. 1 Fusion Conscription.
What does that do?
I can reveal a fusion monster from an extra deck. Add one of the materials from my deck to hand. It's good if I ever get clogged, that's there to help me.
Okay.
Take that one Soul Charge. I use that. It's Soul Charge. You guys already know. Special summon as many monsters, pay 1,000 for each.
Cannot attack.
Cannot attack, but still there. 2 Mystical Space Typhoons to pop any annoying continuous field or spell cards on the field, or continuous traps, because that's the thing normally nowadays. Run 2 Terraformings. So I can search out my field spells. I have 2 different types of field spells in this deck, so if I need any of those, I can bring them out.
Oh god.
Take them at 2.
Imagine the number.
2 Fusion Recycling Plants.
Okay.
These
I get that.
are super essential to my deck build, because if I have one of them out, activate its effect, send 1 card from my hand to the graveyard, add 1 polymerization from my deck or graveyard back to my hand. This is essential because if you fusion summon the turn you activate this effect, you can then, at the end of your turn, add one of the materials you used to fusion summon from your graveyard back to your hand.
Lovely.
3 Magnetic Fields. I have this at 3 because if since I have 2 fusion cycling plants, they tend to take aggro to popping effects. So if I have those, if those ever get popped, I still have my magnetic fields, which is if I control any level 4 lower Earth Rock type monsters, I can special summon an Earth Rock type monster from my graveyard. So that helps me out to get out my ranks if I need specific monsters. Second that 3. And finally, 3 polymerizations. 3 polymerizations to just fusion summon the monster I need to fuse. Now on the traps, 1 Phoenix Chain to just negate anyone that like becomes annoying or stops me from doing what I need to do with my cards and my chains. Just do that to prevent that from happening, me being stopped. 1 breakthrough skill, you already know, negates a monster effect. For example, there was my friend runs a Blue Eyes deck. He had First of Dragons. None of these monsters are normal monsters except for my regular Magna Warriors, and they cannot really like kill that because it's too high of defense. So I have this on there just so I can negate and destroy any card that becomes a nuisance like that. And then you can activate it again from your graveyard and banish it and do the same thing. Serum Mirror Forces, just for that extra help. Just like if I have any monsters that I need to keep on the field in order for me to do an Exceed or a Fusion next turn that I absolutely need to keep on the field, run these at 2 just to defend them.
Lovely.
Finally, 2 Magnet Conversions. I put them on here when you activate this. It has 2 effects. If you activate it from field, you can put 3 Magna Warriors from your graveyard back to your hand. And then on a turn, the next turn, besides the turn you activated this, you can banish it from your graveyard to special one of your banished Magna Warriors, which is good because then if you use Berserkion and banish the Magna Warriors, you can special one of those Magna Warriors back from banished back on the field, and then start the chain all over again.
Lovely.
Now for the extra deck, the juice.
Dun, 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 dun.
3 Empyreons. This guy is pretty much a mini Quasar. He's amazing. He is a 4,000 beater. He can negate 1 card effect once per turn. And also when he is destroyed, or when he leaves the field by card effect, I can special Berserkion and Valkyrion from my hand or deck, ignoring their summoning conditions. So it's perfect for like if I bring him out and my guy, like so somebody like pops him, I can just be like, all right, cool, bring them both back out. Poly again, bring another one back out from the extra deck. Wind up Zen mains for situational stuff. If I am being like bricked at and just being destroyed, I can just have them there just to give me some backbone and just protect me.
Okay.
Pop a card at the end of the turn when he uses effect. He stays alive. Gear, Gigan XG. Gear. Have him on there just because he's really good for stuff like Melodious. He can negate the entire field. So it just, and it's not, so for Bloom Primas and Bloom Divas, Bloom Diva, her effect is she cannot be destroyed by card effects, but that doesn't stop her from being affected by card effects. So if I use him, negate the entire field, which means any Arya gets affected because it's a nuking effect that affects the entire field. Just negate everything and just swing at him because there's just no monsters there. 2 Organic Guardians. I need to get a 3rd one. I suggest running this at 3. Pretty much you need 2 level 3 rock type monsters. You put her on the field. I normally put her in defense because she's just kind of my wall and she can do stuff. So you can detach material, target 1 card in the field, make its attack 0, and negate its effects. Then you can activate her 2nd effect if it was your turn, and then her effect is if there's a monster on the field with 0 attack, you can pop it.
Ew.
And her first effect is during either player's turn, where you can target a monster, make its attack 0, and negate its effects.
I see you, Medusa.
They fixed it.
Number 55, Go Goliath. I have him on there if I got a bad hand or if I need help drawing specific Earthrock type monsters. He can target 1 level 4 Earthrock type monster in my graveyard, add that target to hand, and he only uses effect once per turn. Also, he raises all my Earthrock type monsters defense by 800, so that's good. Dagon the Sea Castrum. He's really good if my opponent has really OP extra deck cards. I can just use his effect, banish one of those monsters, and keep it there in case he summons another one later on. I can use the 2nd effect to add that monster back into his extra deck and pop a monster of the same kind on his field. So if it's like a fusion, send a fusion back, pop that fusion.
Yeah,
Any
pop
deck
the
card.
fusion. Yeah.
Super Quantum Mech Beast Grand Pulse. He's pretty much my monster. Put him in the fence. He's pretty much an MST you can use twice.
Country all spoiling.
He's just good to have. My opponent has annoying cards,
3-0.
annoying spell or trap cards that are being a nuisance. Number 18,
It's also
Heraldry
character.
Patriarch.
Same.
It is really good because you can activate its effect once per chain. So if there's a chain and is during either player's turn, you can activate its effect during the chain. Target one monster in the field, destroy that monster, and as long as this card is on the field, your opponent cannot summon monsters with that monster's name ever.
Yeah.
So it's good to stop cards that like Blue Eyes or Red Eyes or anything that has a name that consists of the whole deck. Gaga Cowboy to get that finishing burn damage, you already know.
We already know what that do.
Karagorn, the Anti-Luminescent Knight. I have him on there because when he's on the field, if there's a card effect that becomes activated, yours or your opponent's, that targets one monster, he can use that effect against your opponent. So for example, if my opponent uses an MST to pop one of my cards, I can activate his effect, attach him to use his MST against him, and pop one of his cards instead. It's pretty
The
gross.
backfire is real.
And finally, Dark
Dark
Rebellion
Rebellion.
Xyz Dragon. Just there to have as a beater in case I really need him. If I need to like finish a game or if I'm just like needing a strong monster.
Well then, that was quite interesting. A lot of XCs in that deck. Well, any suggestion for any of the Magnet people out there that want to build a Magnet deck?
You want to have always 3 polymerizations. I've been suggested to run them at 2, but 3 is the ideal number for this specific deck build because the main card you want to bring out is Empyreon.
Alright. Thank you so much for showing us your deck, Mike.
You got it.
Thank you so much. Also, if you enjoyed the deck profile, Duckies, like that video. We know you want to. Just do it. Also, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, become a bastard, become one of us. One of us. Catch you later.